Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonnet, the owner and creator behind Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and in today's video I am giving you a thrift to treasure. So 5 items that I've recently thrifted and I am going to flip them for you in today's video. I hope you enjoy. If you don't already, go over and follow me on Facebook. I did flip those little blue wood shoes either on a Monday or a Wednesday night live, and I fell in love with them. So when I saw this little single wood shoe while I was out thrifting, I had to rescue it. My vision for the wood shoe is I'm using DIY's Gypsy Green, and I'm applying 2 even coats of the Gypsy Green to the entire piece. I am leaving the inside all natural. It's just my vision for this. So yes, you could definitely paint the inside. I wanted to leave that wood like almost like a two-tone. So the outside, the Gypsy Green, and then the inside, the natural wood. From here, I'm going to take a damp rag and I'm just going to wet distress it just to bring out a little bit of that natural wood grain. And I'm going to do it on areas that I think a shoe would get the most use. So like on the tip, on the edges, where you put your foot in, and I just randomly did that. Next, I'm going to take Big Top and I'm going to seal the entire piece. If you guys have been following me for a bit, you will know that DIY paint can be reactivated with water. So anytime you're using the DIY paint, you do need to seal it with some type of top coat, whether that be Big Top, poly, wax, just to completely seal it. I used Big Top because I am going to apply a transfer. So I had an extra sheet of Wander from IOD left over, and I decided I was going to use that whole sheet on all of these projects. I was going to just cut it all apart and piece it on all the projects that I'm using in today's video. So for this shoe, I just cut out just a little piece of green leaves and this rose and some blue flowers, and I'm going to randomly place it on the top of the shoe. And I love how this is coming out. Now, if you haven't used a transfer before, super easy with the transfers. When I first started using them, I know I've said this before, I kind of thought I had to just lay the whole sheet down and use as is. I quickly discovered that you can cut and piece the transfers any way you'd like, and they all look amazing. So you just peel off that back piece, lay your transfer down, use your transfer stick to rub, and then the top sheet comes off, and you can overlap them. You can use different transfers together. So this one is Wander, and in another flip down in this video, I'm also using the transfer Desperado, so you can mix and match. Then next, you'll want to seal your transfer after you have it applied. And here, again, I'm just applying 1 even coat of Big Top to the entire piece. I recently thrifted these silver platters. I love the shape of each of them. I did not like the coloring, and I could have cleaned them up, but what I decided to do, because I use so much color in my booth, I decided to add some neutrals, and I'm using White Swan from DIY, and I'm going to apply 2 even coats of the White Swan to each of these platters. Now I'm going to let them dry very thoroughly, and then I'm going to come back and I want to bring back some of the details in these platters, so I'm going to show you how I wet distress those. I love wet distressing because it really cuts down on your dust, and you really have a lot more control over your piece. Seeing how much distressing in a specific area. You just rub a little bit harder and it brings out all that amazing detail. So I really like this look. As I was doing this though, I was thinking I still have a lot of extra transfers from that wander, and I decided, even though I was looking to add neutrals to my display, I thought it would be good to add just a little bit of pop of color to each of these pieces. So what I did is I first started off deciding what I want on each one, and I kind of just pieced them together. So again, you can see a lot of these flowers kind of intermixed in each other, and I just take my scissors and cut out the chunk that I want. Now I do the exact same thing for the next piece, and keep in mind, before I applied the transfers to any of the platters, I did seal them. And the key with that, and I always stress this, learn from my mistakes. Do not apply your transfer too soon after you seal your piece, because if it's still a little wet, it's going to actually pull up all the paint, the transfer will. So just live and learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I get so excited. I want to do it real quick and I don't give it enough time, and it has definitely been a lot more work for me. What do you guys think of these porcelain insulators? I thought they were so cool looking. I grabbed every single one of them, and even the ones that were chipped. Now, I thought right away when I saw the little chips, it was really bothering me, and at first I wasn't going to grab them. Then I was thinking, I love the dark and decrepit liquid patina. It is perfect for staining items. It is perfect for this type of application. I have done this in the past where I can cover up an imperfection and you will never know. I don't mind the actual chip because they are really old and decrepit looking. I just didn't like how some of the chips were all like natural looking and some of them were bright white. So I just took a little bit of the dark and decrepit liquid patina and applied it on those little, like the stark white areas, and it blended perfect, and when it dried, you would never know the difference. Now, this is one I almost passed up. Look at that big chunk that was gone. I just take a bit of the liquid patina, apply it to that area, and it just blends it right in, and you, again, would never know the difference. Now, the other thing is I wanted to find out what I should price these at. I went out on Google and I Googled insulator brown, and it came up that it was a porcelain insulator, and I'm like, yes, these are porcelain, and they are going for quite a bit. So I am still on the fence of what I'm going to price these at, but I think that it will be very impactful to have them all in a basket or in a crate of some sort, and I think it's going to look great at Antique Acres. Check out these little crates. I thought they were super cute. Unfortunately, two of them, the black paint was chipping off. So I took just my X-Acto knife and I could peel most of it off. I did that for two of them. Now the third one, the black paint would not come off. I thought it was very bizarre because with two of them, I literally just put that knife underneath a little piece of the black paint and it just would flake off. So after I did that and I realized that there was this amazing green under there, I'm like, I really am embracing this green. And at DIY Paint, there is Gypsy Green, which basically was almost a perfect color match. So I decided I was going to embrace the green and I pulled out Gypsy Green and I painted the front of each of these crates 2 even coats of Gypsy Green. After that, I sealed it with Big Top like I always do. And again, just 1 even coat of Big Top. And the reason I chose Big Top is I am going to use a transfer on here. I made mention earlier on in the video that I was going to be intermixing 2 different transfers from IOD. I'm using Desperado and I'm using Wander. I really like that look of Desperado, all the black. The piece that I'm using actually covers the whole length of each of the crates. So I am using 3 of those, so 1 on each of the crates. And then the Wander transfer has all different flowers. So I am going to just pull out a chunk of flower from just different chunks of flowers. So I want these to look similar to each other, but also very different. That way, if somebody wanted to buy all 3 crates, they could. If they wanted to buy just 1, they could do that as well. The other thing I decided to do on these was 2 of them, I was going to have the flower on the right side, and then the third one, I wanted to have the flower on the left side, just to make it a little bit different and unique. That way too, when I go to display these in my vignette and I stack them, I can stack 1 where the flower's on the right, then the second one on the left, and then the third on the right. So it will look very good in a vignette. Initially, my thought was I was going to possibly add some wording to each of the crates. After looking at all 3, I just decided let's stop now, and I can always go back and add them if they don't sell at Antique Acres, but I really like the look of the crates as is. The last item are the salt and pepper shakers, and when I thrifted these initially, I was going to leave them just as is. I thought they were super cool, but you guys, the salt shaker, I could not get the top off of. I was so sad. I started Googling how to get salt shaker tops off when it's stuck. I honestly I could not figure it out. I tried everything. So everything that said if the top is metal and the bottom is glass, you can soak it in water and it typically loosens up that hardened salt. But it said if it was metal on metal, that the chances of it coming loose, it's going to be a lot harder. So I started soaking this little salt shaker, and initially I did not want to get any water inside, so I just soaked it on the outside and it didn't help. So then I submerged the whole piece in very warm water and I let it soak for probably an hour, and I tried it and it wasn't loosening up. So then I thought, well, maybe if I bang it a bit, just like tap it to try to like loosen it all up, if the water got in there where it could have at least moistened some of that hard salt. And I tapped and I kept trying, and I tapped a little bit more, and then I noticed some chunks were kind of coming out, and I tapped a little bit more, and then next thing you know, I got the top off. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. And I cleaned up the whole piece, and once I realized the salt had actually made the silver a little weird looking, I decided these were going to get painted. So I broke out White Swan and I painted both of the salt and pepper shakers, 2 even coats of White Swan. I did not paint where you screw it on. I just left that. I didn't want to, cause any issues in that area at all. I let these dry very thoroughly, and then I did some wet distressing to bring out the salt and pepper logos that were on the outside. So when I did my wet distressing, I really, as you can see here, I'm really rubbing, and I love how the white of the White Swan actually got inside of the actual salt and pepper where they had like kind of etched it out. And I really wanted that to pop. So on the very front, I really, wet distressed that area back, and then just randomly all over. I did seal them with Big Top again, and this time I made sure it was completely dry. I was not going to jeopardize any like putting that top on before it was completely dry, and I really love how these turned out. I hope you guys did too. So what did you guys all think? What was your favorite flip today? Honestly, I loved them all. I'm really at the very tail end of all my items that I can really flip. I do need to get a lot of pricing done today and over the weekend. I also have a lot of painting. So this weekend will be completely dedicated to painting items for Antique Acres. I started yesterday with a table, and I am already loving the transformation. I have the table piece almost completely done. Currently debating on what color to paint the chairs. So I will definitely I would say like next Friday, you are going to get the whole prepping of everything with this weekend. Now, Monday's video, that is going to actually be the video that you should have received last Monday. And if many of you noticed, I did not put out a video. It literally just got uploaded as of yesterday. And because it uploaded yesterday, I'm like, well, I'm giving them a video today. I am just gonna hold that one, and that will be Monday's video. So, I don't know what happened. I am praying though, you guys, that today's video gets uploaded just fine. Every time it rains here in Wisconsin, I notice that my uploads to YouTube take forever. So I don't actually know what happened or why. But if I have problems today, I will be reaching out to my internet provider to say, hey, what's going on? But anyways, well, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I love the salt and pepper shakers. They are by far my favorite. I really like how that White Swan got into that wording, and then when I distressed it back, it just really popped. So that, I think, was my favorite item today. I can't wait to hear what you guys all think, and we will see you guys, well, Monday. And then next Friday, I'm giving you a full blown out everything that I am doing this weekend for Antique Acres. So that includes pricing, painting, you name it, everything. You're gonna see, well, hopefully you won't see me crying, because I am getting down to the wire. On May 19th and 20th, the Antique Acres will be going on. So if you are in the area, definitely come see me. I will have all the details down in the description. Otherwise, they're over on my Facebook page too. All right, we'll see ya Monday, and you guys have yourselves a great weekend. Bye.